Something about that yellow. It just didn't look right. Hansa yellow, to be sure. It had to be. The bold, lemon-colored hue was unmistakable, at least to the highly trained eye. But that wouldn't make any sense. This painting was by renowned American artist George Alt, after all. In the turbulent years after the First World War, when the precisionist painter was active, there was no Hansa yellow. Not to mention the paint itself, upon closer inspection, looked like acrylic, a material which certainly would not have been available at the time. Synthetic paints didn't enter widespread use until the 50s. To this expert art authenticator, who had been paid a sizable commission to verify the provenance of this $200,000 painting, that was the final straw. This was a fake. The painting Smith Silo by fellow American precisionist painter Ralston Crawford sold at auction for $395,000 in 2016. The subject is a red barn, a fact which will later turn out to be quite ironic. According to the seller, the painting was originally given as a gift from the artist himself to Henry Hotz Jr., Dean of Arts at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. Another painting, entitled Coming Home, by Gertrude Abercrombie, dubbed the Queen of the Bohemian Artists, sold in March of 2019 for $93,750. An equally detailed backstory. Several more alt pieces. Morning in Brooklyn, $336,500. Stacks Up First Avenue, $372,500. Not just paintings, sports memorabilia too. A baseball bat signed by the home run king himself, Babe Ruth, $60,000. Another, signed by Yankees great Lou Gehrig, $120,000. All these pieces and more, according to an indictment unsealed by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Illinois in April of 2022, led back to a Michigan farm property. Located just a short drive northwest of Traverse City and home to a large red barn, the site was the subject of a July 2020 FBI raid related to the case. The story, first broken by the Detroit News in 2020, describes a team of more than 30 federal agents descending upon the 4,000 square foot barn, the supposed hub of a complex forgery network. What awaited them was a sophisticated operation. According to first-hand accounts, the building almost overflowed with art supplies, paintings, and other artwork that appears to be in progress, as well as baseball bats, baseballs, and other memorabilia. So much evidence that the agents also had to return the next morning, since they couldn't seize so much in just one day. A workshop, it seemed, out of which master forgers systematically crafted high-value objects. The indictment centers upon three men, two brothers, Donald and Mark Henkel of Michigan, as well as a third, Raymond Paparella of Florida. How did the trio allegedly pull this off? A perfect mix of artistic skill and criminal savvy, it appears. Clearly, given the high quality of the fakes involved, the perpetrators in this case knew a thing or two about making art. Donald D.B. Henkel, the owner of the farm property and supposed financial center of the forgery ring, had long been heavily involved in the local art community in northern Michigan. In fact, he had made quite a name for himself. In 2005, the same year that the forgery ring is alleged to have started, Henkel's A Still Life with Cherries was selected by a panel of judges as the commemorative print for the 2005 National Cherry Festival. Since 2011, he regularly entered Art Prize, a Grand Rapids art competition and festival, for which he created paintings, sculptures, and mixed media pieces. One of his entries, a sculpture titled Rain Man, now stands prominently at a local shopping center, a beautiful piece of public art for all to enjoy. Another work by Henkel, a painting entitled Holiday Jubilee, adorns the children's section of an area bookshop. It depicts Santa Claus, Jesus Christ, the Easter Bunny, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., and many recognizable others, gallivanting in a parlor surrounded by all sorts of holiday-related imagery. Both pieces demonstrate a high degree of artistic command and practice. This experience, one could imagine, would prove indispensable when selecting materials and attempting to emulate the works of historical masters. All of this begs the question, why put such prodigious talents to such a nefarious purpose? It's hard to know. What is clear, however, given the longevity of the scheme and attention to detail evident in each of its replications, is that only someone with such talent could have pulled this off. Creating high-quality fakes was only one part of the puzzle. The scheme also required convincing wealthy institutions and collectors to purchase them. As part of this, objects required a detailed paper trail describing their history, geotemporal location, as well as sequence of ownership. All this documentation had to be fabricated to a level sufficient to dupe experts in the field, which no doubt required extensive research. In order to not raise suspicion as to the single source of their many forgeries, the conspirators would employ straw sellers, business associates who would, for some fee, pose as a piece's original owner and seller, even if it came from the Michigan workshop. Paparella, as well as several personal connections of the Henkel brothers, are said to have performed this function. Just as important to the criminal operation's success, though, casting a wide net. Though the Chicago-based Hinman auctions made for the primary victim in the case, having purchased the most works from the forgery ring, and also eventually having uncovered the fake alt painting entitled The Homestead, the one with the suspicious yellow paint, it was far from alone. The enterprise entangled auction houses in Dallas, Pennsylvania, London, and New York, galleries in Grand Rapids, Michigan, New York City, Hudson, New York, and a collector in California. By diversifying the targets of the fraud, no one institution or individual caught on, at least for quite some time. All said and done, this massive art fraud earned for its apparent perpetrators millions of dollars in combined sales. And that only accounts for the objects linked back to the workshop thus far. Of course, these remain only allegations. The accused forgers are presumed innocent until proven guilty, and will see their day in court. If the claims hold, however, this will make for one of the most impressive and successful forgery operations in history. Spanning over 15 years and numerous high-valued objects, the alleged scam entrapped galleries, auction houses, and private collectors across several continents, all out of a nondescript barn in the rural Midwest. And, if not for the small mistake of using the wrong type of paint, it might still be going on.